The other day, it's been a while, but we did long division. Do you remember doing that long division? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I hear what most people, I don't know, we're going to be learning it. Why, is that going to make a difference? If it's on a test or not? Sure, everything we've been doing is going to be on a test. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah.
It's R4 through R6.
I don't even know. No, we got like 2 more, I think, of these review things. So we probably won't even finish the review.
You guys are talking off the lot.
Are you going to get some notes out? Come on, you can't quit now. It's only Monday. You got to make it through Friday. All right?
And then we have another week.
And then we got 2 days after that. Well, Friday we're not really going to be doing anything because it's Grandparents' Day, so we won't have class on Friday. But you got to make it at least till Thursday, and then you got Monday and Tuesday of the following week. All right, so I'm not stopping. So don't come in here thinking, oh, we're just gonna blow off the rest of this week. That doesn't happen in here. All right, so we are gonna learn. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some division. Do you remember that long division stuff? For instance.
Yeah, I do. Where you break it down. That's like the dumbest.
It's the dumbest math?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't like
I'm going to show you a better way, though. I'm going to show you a way that when you leave here, you're going to like, wow, Mr. Hammock, why didn't you show me this when we were doing the regular division? I think it is. Okay, it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot, yeah, I think it's easier. All right, but we learned the long way first, and then we're going to learn the synthetic division. And but let's do it the old way first. First of all, we're dividing by x minus 3. Do you remember what we do with that? Remember this long division like this? Yep, put this thing on the outside, and you put what? 2x cubed minus x squared. But you got to be careful, though. Look, between the x squared and the 3, you're missing something. You got x cubed, x squared, and then it goes right to just a regular number. There needs to be something in here. What does that need to be? Do you remember? You need to have an x. Well, you're right. You need to have an x, but what kind of x is it going to be? Because it's not really there, so you're going to put a 0x. It kind of fills in the place value. Think of it that way. All right? Everybody see that? You got x cubed, x squared, you got an x, and then you have a number, plus 3. Let's go through this the old way, and that's the only time today we're going to do it the old way, and then I'm going to show you a new way, and it's going to be a lot better. All right? I'm going to throw it kind of quick. I'm not going to like teach this like I taught it the first time, all right, because we've already done it once. So you say, how many times does x go into 2x cubed? Or what is 2x cubed divided by x? It's 2x squared. So you go 2x squared. You put minus and then a parentheses. This is coming back because we need to fill in that place value. 0x is just 0. So this is still the same thing as this, but we have an x because we're going to have to bring down an x. And if it's not there, then you're stuck. So you need to have an x there. All right, let's keep going. Now we multiply. 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. And then we're multiplying it by this whole thing. 2x squared minus 3, which is minus 6x squared. Make sense? Bring it down. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. This is a negative 1x squared minus negative. What's minus negative? It's plus. What's negative 1 plus 6? Positive 5, and then x squared. Now we bring down the next thing. If we didn't have that x there, then we wouldn't get this right. Okay, so we need an x there, so we bring down a 0x. Now let's go through the same thing. Let's go 5x squared divided by x. Well, what is 5x squared divided by by x? It's just 5x. So you put that there, put a subtraction. Now we multiply this times this. 5x times x is 5x squared. And then 5x times negative 3 is minus 15x. All right, let's subtract. 5x squared minus 5x squared is 0. 0 minus negative. Minus negative is positive. What's 0 plus, or 0x plus 15x? It's 15x. Bring down the next number. Now, we say 15x divided by x is 15, so it's plus 15. Now we multiply, and then we'll subtract it from this. We multiply, we get 15x minus 15 times 3, which is minus 45. All right, let's subtract. 15x minus 15x is 0. 3 minus negative is positive, so what do we get? We get 48. What is this? This is my what? This is my remainder. How do I write my remainder? We usually write it like this. 48 divided by whatever we're dividing by, which is x minus 3. So that would be your answer. What a pain in the butt. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Excuse my language. Here's a better way to do this. And that would be by using what? Thank you. I moved it so you can see it. Synthetic division. This is going to be a better way. All right? We're going to do that same exact problem, but I'm going to do it with synthetic division. So let's write the problem down again. I'm going to do this. It was a remainder of 48. I'll tell you what. I'm going to put the 0x in there because I'm going to have to write it anyway, but I'll just put the 0 in there. And then we're going to divide this by x minus 3. Same problem. Okay, I said that earlier. We're going to divide this, but we're going to do it not the old-fashioned long division way, but we're going to do it with this new way of doing things, okay, synthetic division. What made this really difficult was all the x cubes and x squareds and making sure we get that all right. Okay, wouldn't you agree? That was kind of a pain. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this, but we're going to do it without any x's at all right? And nothing cubed, nothing squared. We're going to do it really simple. Now, here's one key to this. We use synthetic division when you're dividing by x minus, and you could use any letter in here. I think they use the letter C. So when you're dividing by x minus c, this is how you're going to do this. We're kind of going to write it as a long division problem. This book actually does it, but I've seen so many other books that don't do it like that, but it's really the same thing. So what we're going to do is this. What is the c? Well, the c is just c. So in this case, what is my c? It's just a 3. It's not a negative 3, is it? Because this is x minus whatever the c is. What's the c? It's a 3. You okay with that? So what we're going to do is we're going to put a 3 right here. Now this is the way I've been doing it for a long time. They do it like this. It doesn't matter, but I've been doing it like this. I'm going to do it like this, okay? So you put a 3 here. Where'd you get that 3? You got it from here. What if it was dividing by x plus 3? Then what do you think would go here? A negative 3, because what is x plus 3? It's the same thing as x minus negative 3. Do you see that? So whatever the c is, that's what you're going to put right there. So it's always x minus whatever the number is. So x plus 3 is x minus negative 3. So what are you subtracting from x here? You're subtracting a negative 3. So if it was, it's not, it will be in another example, okay, but it's not right now, but it's just x minus 3, so we put a 3 here. What if it was x minus 5? What would we put in that little block right there? A 5. What if it was x plus 7? What would we put in that block? Negative 7. Everybody got me on that? Yeah, you could think of it as the opposite. I like to think of it as, what are you subtracting from the x? You're subtracting, in this case, a negative 7 from the x. This, you're just subtracting a 5. This, you're subtracting a 3. We good with that? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is this. This is where it makes it super easy. Let's forget all the x cubes, the x squared, and the x. Let's just put the coefficient. What does that mean, coefficient? It's the number where? Like, what's the coefficient of this term right there? It's 2. It's just the number that's out in front, okay? So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a 2 right there. What's the coefficient of this next one? Is it a 1? It's a negative 1 because it's minus 1. Do you see that? That 1 is there, isn't it? We just don't always put it there. So the next one's going to be a negative 1. What's the coefficient to the x? 0. And then, now, this really doesn't have a letter with it, so what do you think you're going to put? Just the 3. This is nice and easy. You're going to be mad at me because I didn't show you how to do this when we did these before. All right? I don't promise you're going to be mad at me, but I promise it's going to be easier. And then we put a little line. I leave a little blank here. Everybody see this? Because I'm going to write some stuff right here, here, and here. So I leave some room in between that line. I don't put that line right underneath of it, okay? So leave some space, drop this line. Now watch what we're going to do. Everybody watching? It's really simple if you get the pattern, all right? It's not that hard to follow the pattern. First thing we do is we drop that 2 down to there, okay? Now watch what I do. I'll do this. I've seen teachers do this on YouTube, and sometimes it's too confusing, but I'll do at least the first one. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply 3 times 2, and then we're going to put it into that spot right there. I'll just do that once with the arrows, okay? So what's 3 times 2? 6, and we put it right there. Okay? See that? Pretty easy, right? So you take this number underneath the line, you multiply it by that thing out front. Now you add up these columns. What's negative 1 plus 6? It's 5. Okay? Now we repeat the same thing. But now we take the 3 and multiply it by 5. What's that? 15. Where do you think you're going to put that?
Under the 0.
Under that one right there. And then we add up those columns. What's 0 plus 15?
15.
Okay. Let's do it one more time. Now, what do we do? 3 times 15. What is 3 times 15?
45.
It's 45. We put it right here. What do we do to these columns? Add them up. What do you get? 48. Do these numbers look familiar to you? 2, 5, 15, 48. 2, 5, 15, 48. You see it? Isn't that cool? Now watch very carefully. This last number is always the remainder. Okay? This one is always your constant. When I say constant, that means it doesn't have an x with it. It's just a number by itself. That's what it means to be a constant. This one is going to be the x term, all right? And then what do you think this one's going to be? The x what? The x squared. No, this is the remainder. This is going to be the x squared. See? We go from the lowest one, which is the remainder, then the constant, then the x squared. So I'm ready to write my answer. Now, do you have to write all that stuff that I just did with the arrows? You do not, okay? I just did it just so you could visually see what each of these are. So my first one is going to be what? 2x squared. What's this going to be? 5x, but it's a positive, so what do I put here? A plus, and this is going to be 5x. Then this is a positive, so I put a plus. What's that going to be? Just a 15. I don't put any x's with it because that's my constant. Then my remainder is what? Is 48. Now, it looks like to me they're okay just writing remainder instead of putting it over top of what you're dividing by. So I'm okay if you just say remainder of 48, and then you write that as your answer. See how much nicer that is? Yeah, I told you it would be.
Would it be plus remainder?
Well, whenever we take a test on R-6, yeah, that'll be on it. Up to this point, I've given you a quiz on every section, right? Actually, a test? Did I give you a test? I think I split up the test, didn't I? Like R1 to R3, and then I did like R4 to R5, I think. Yeah, that's what we did. On this one, I probably will not give you a quiz on R6 because this is the only thing we're doing on R6. We'll be finished by the end of this class period. First time all year, we've done a whole review section in one day, all right? But this is super short. And it's fairly easy, don't you think? Let's do another one. Question.
Are you doing test corrections on the test coming up? Or no?
Well, there's no test this week.
Yeah, but coming up next.
Well, when we have a test, yeah, I always give test correct. Every test I give test corrections. Not on quizzes, but on tests I do. All right, let's do another one. You ready? That was actually like a pre-example. They just use that to teach the process. This is technically example 1. So we're going to do 2 examples, do example 1, example 2. Let me go a little bit faster on this one. And I don't have to do it both ways now. All right, I just wanted to show you the long way just to show you that this was so much nicer. Wouldn't you agree? This is kind of the same. This is really not much different at all. Even what you're dividing by is the same number, but these numbers are just a little bit different. All right? So what are we going to do? Let's put this little box thing right here. What are we going to put inside that little box? A 3. Now, we're going to put our coefficients right here, aren't we? Now, watch very carefully. Put a 1 out in front of that. So what's my first coefficient?
1.
It's 1. Then my x squared coefficient?
-4.
But what do I need in between x squared and
0.
I need a 0. So I need to put a 0 there. That's super important, okay, that you put the 0 there. Then your last number, -5. Leave a little room to write before you put that line, because we're going to put some stuff in that area. Everybody okay setting it up? Yeah, pretty easy, isn't it? And now I don't have to worry about any of those x's or the squareds or the cubes or anything like that. What do I do to that 1 first of all? Bring it down, because technically that's a 0 right there, so 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay? Now, what do I do with that 1? Multiply by 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. Put it right there. What do I do with these two? Add them up. What's -4 plus 3? -1. Okay? Just ready to repeat the process again. 3 times -1 is -3. Add them up. It's -3. Multiply. 3 times -3 is -9. Add them up. -14. What is the -14? That's my what? That's my remainder. What's the -3? My constant. The -1 is my x, and this is my, no, it's not 2x. It's x squared. So I write 1x squared or just x squared. Minus 1x or just minus x. Then a -3, because there's no x that goes with that one. It's my constant. Then my remainder, I'll just put r, and then it's -14. It is easy. Now, in fact, listen, I talked about you guys in my pre-calc class today because we studied something in pre-calc that's way more complicated than this, but there was a step in that pre-calc problem where you had to do long division, right? So I went through the long division, and they're like, some of them were like, oh, I don't know what you just did, and some were like, oh yeah, we did that last year because we did it last year in Algebra 2. But it just shows you that there are places in other classes that you do have to do long division. And that wasn't like the problem. The problem wasn't like do this long division problem. It was a different type of problem, but you had to do long division as one of your steps in that problem. Okay? So do we use this later on? Yes, we do. All right, let's do another example and we'll be done. You got to be liking this now, right? All right, this one's a little bit longer, but it's really no more difficult. It's just a few more steps. That's all it is. So it starts off with x to the 5th. All right, so it's 2x to the 5th plus 5x to the 4th minus 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 2x plus 3. And we're dividing it by, I'll put a little division sign, is that all right? Dividing it by x plus 3. First of all, let's take a look at this. Do I have to fill in anything with a 0x?
Nope.
No, everything's included. Look, x to the 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, constant. So I don't have to put any 0x's. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, but always look for that though. Always look to see if there's a gap between them. Like if they didn't have an x cubed here, what if it went right from 5x to the 4th plus 2x squared? I'd have to put a 0x cubed in there. But they have an x cubed, so we don't have to worry about that. So I put my little box. What goes in that little box? It's -3 this time. Everybody see that? All right, so whatever this number is right here, just take the opposite sign of it, and it goes right here. Now, let's just fill in with the coefficients. Make sure if it's negative, you put a negative in there, all right? and you got a couple that are negative. All right, so what do we got? We got 2, we got 5, negative 2, positive 2, another negative 2, and a positive 3. Landon, you writing this down?
Can you send Gianna to the office for a dismissal, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Everybody got that? That's the easy part, isn't it? Yeah, just write the coefficients down. That's all you got to do. Forget about the x to the 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and so on. All right, just write the numbers out in front, put it here. Now, what do we do with that first number?
Bring it down.
Drop it down underneath that line. Now, we multiply and we add. We multiply and we add. We multiply and we add. All right, we just keep that pattern. You go ahead and do that. See if you can do it. Got a few minutes. You keep working on it and I'll put mine down, okay? Is that what you got? Everybody see? All right, we multiplied. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Added them up, negative 1. Multiply 3, add them up, 1. Multiply right here, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Put it here, add them up, and so forth. Now we're ready to write the answer, but we got to figure out what's what. You could start at the remainder and work backwards, or you could just look at it this. Because look, when you did that first division, it was x to the 5th divided by x, wasn't it? What is x to the 5th divided by x? What's x to the 5th divided by x? X to the 4th, right. So what's this one going to be? X to the 4th. So if this was an x to the 5th, this one's always going to be 1 less than that. All right? Or you could look at it like this. This is your remainder, your constant. This would be an x, x squared, x cubed, x to the 4th. That's kind of how I like to look at it.
I get it. So it's always remainder, constant.
Yeah, it always is remainder, constant, x, x squared, x cubed, x to the 4th.
However many are added.
How many there are, you keep on going, exactly. But it's always going to be 1 less than, because watch, it's x to the 5th divided by x, isn't it? So your first one's going to be an x to the 4th. So you could look at it either way. And then what's this going to be? Minus x cubed. This is going to be plus x squared. This is going to be minus x. This is my constant, so it's plus 1. What's my remainder? It's 0, so it actually divides evenly. All right, so this actually divides evenly. There's no remainder. And then that's your answer right there. Yeah. Right past. What do you think? Super easy, right? And it's just so much nicer not to have all those variables in there and all that kind of stuff. All right. So let me give you a little assignment. I don't give you a whole lot of these to do. And look, we will be finished section R-6. Believe that? One day. It's taken us 2 weeks to do some of these. So it covers 2 different pages. You're doing 5 to 15. You're only doing the odds. So that's not much at all to do. I think that's 6 problems. Okay? Any questions? All right.